my recording. All right. So to keep this thing very simple, I'm using these two data set, right? Or you can call it table, or you can call it whatever you wish to. But ideally, you need to use the join when you have a two data set, right? If all the data is in a one table or in a one file, then you do not need to use the join, right? Join would be always needed once you have a two set of the data or two or more, right? More than one, right? That's where you use the join, right? So in this example, we are using one set of the data that is a student and another set of the data that is called the course. And we are not going like the best practice of the data modeling, just for the sake of simplicity, so we can understand the concept better. I'm using the course code as a foreign key over here. For any join operation, it is very important in your data set. One column should be common, right? There could be possibility like the more than one column should be common. So, but at least one column should be common. Without that, you'll not be able to perform your join operation. If the both data set is totally different, then it's not possible to do the join. Okay, so is it very important? So usually the foreign key of the table is used for the other primary key in other table, right? So in this example, as we have used the course code, so the value you can see, based on that, you can just, okay, this is the common field, right? I'll put this common field in a green. So this would be your join key. Based on this column, you will perform your join operation, okay? You may notice like the column name is different in a student table. Column name is different from here. It doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that what value is there and is that value is relevant. Functionally, it is the same thing that you want to perform the join. That is the most important thing you need to look for. Whenever you see the two table, whenever you see the two data set, look for the common columns that is available and their value so that you can perform the join. Clear? And let me add one more code over here, right? Number of column can be n, right? The second important, excuse me, second important part is that why we need to do the join. That's the very first question. The reason that you need to join, because in your report, if somebody is saying, give me the name of a student, give me the name of course, and give me the fee of course. If somebody is requesting these three fields, then you need to perform the join because name of a student is available into the student table, first name and last name. Name of course is available into course table and fee is available in a course table. So that's the reason you need to perform the join. If your ask and your query output is only from this table, like if somebody is saying like, can you give me the name and age? Do you need to use the join? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, no, right? Because name and age, both fields are available in the student table, right? So why do you need to join? There's no reason, right? So the when you need to join or when not is very much dependent like the what output you wanted to expect or you are requesting, and that is needed for your report. And most of the time, like in a flat structure, you do not need to perform a lot of the join, but might be one or two join is needed. But in a relational structure where we saw like the table is split into multiple table, definitely you need to perform multiple joins, right? So when you perform the join, what could be the possibilities? Think in this way, right? Consider this table as a left table, right? Because it is in the left hand side of your hand, right? So this is the left table, right? And if this is the left table, then this would be right table. Okay. And it doesn't matter which one is your left, which one is my right, right? So that's perfectly fine. One table will be left, one table will be right. Okay, when you are using two table. The next thing is that once you are joining on this, what will be happen? Once the join operation is done, then based on that, like this is the MCA value, it will go, computer system will go and look for the MCA value, wherever is find the MCA value, and whatever you are requesting, that value will be added over here, right? So there could be four possibilities, right? Which table will get the precedence, right? That will decide like what output should be displayed in your record. Always these three columns will come. Like after the join, you are looking for these three columns. These three columns will be there. But what will be the data under that three column? It is dependent on the what kind of the join you guys are using, right? So what could be the possibility? The first possibility would be I'm giving the priority to the left table. What is the left table? A student. That's called the left join. This is the first possibilities, right? In the first, if you are using the left join, means you are giving priority to the left table. And what is the left table is? A student, right? So in this case of, because you are using the left join and your left table is a student and you are giving priority to the left table, so all records from left table will come. So what does it mean? All record means how many students are there? 4. So all 4 name will come in your output, right? And because your left is the priority, and now you have only one value that is MCA, these are null, right? There is no value for that. You don't know what course these guys have been enrolled, right? This is blank. Null is like a blank, right? So when the computer will perform the join operation, it will only find the matching for Raj and MCA. So, and you are saying like, okay, matching is found. Now bring the name of the course. So it will copy this course, master this, and whatever the fee of the course would be, it will copy that value from there and it will give you the output. Now the question is that, okay, MCA is matched. What about the other field value? What will be the value here? It will be null. All non-matching field of the right table that is in your join query or operation will be null. So this would be your output if you are performing the left join. Clear? Any doubt?
Good.
Okay. So that will be always, whenever you are checking that, if you are performing the left join, your number of record, if there is no anywhere condition, right, then it will be exactly the number of record is in a left table, because left join means you are giving the precedence to the left table, that is a student, and number of record will be 4. And definitely if here we have a age, then you'll see like the all age are available because age is coming from a student table, right? Because it's coming from a student table. But if you are bringing the course code, only the course code will be available for whatever is matching. Your non-matching value will not come. This will be null. Okay. So that's what will be your output. So based on that, you can decide like what operation you need to be done, right? The second possibility would be, I don't care about, like, I only want, give me the name of the student who has enrolled in a particular any course, right? I don't want the name of the student who is not enrolled. I don't want the course that is not enrolled by any student, right? If you see over here, there is not a single student enrolled to the MBA course by seeing this data. And these 3 students has not enrolled in any course, right? So that's called the inner join. When you use the inner join, it means you are telling your system or computer or data set, give me only records from the both table that are satisfying the join condition, means matching the value, right? So in a second scenario, in case of the inner join, your suppose that your all the columns are same, right? So we wanted to use all the columns that we have in a query, but we are switching the join from left to inner. So the rule is that only matching from the both table. So which one is the matching? First record is matching based on the code MCA to MCA. So definitely Raj will come, right? And MCA will come. but then rest of all code are null. So all these three records will not come in your output. That will be dropped. So your output for the inner join with the same join condition with the same select statement will be this. Clear? So that will be the inner join. And a lot of the time we use the inner join is depending on the use case. If you are giving the weightage to the left table, then you use the left join. You don't want to lose any student, then left join. If you care about the just give me that the student who has enrolled in a course, then you'll use the inner join. And opposite of the left is called the right join. This is the third scenario. It is just reverse of the left. What does it mean? You are giving the preference to right table. And which one is the right table? Course. Means every single record of the course will come, but from a student, only the matching table record will come, right? So how does it look like when you see the data? When you see the data with the right join, everything is the same. Column select statement is same, table join is same, just you are switching from left to right. Then what will be happen? Matching will always come in this case, right? So the RAS 20 master 1 and MCA will come. Then there is your preference is the right table. So right table you have one more record that's called the master in business application. So that will come over here. Code is MBA, so code will come here. Your fee is here, so fee will come here. And this, because there is nobody enrolled in the MBA program, then the name will become null and age will come null. So this will be your output in case of, sorry, let me, right outer join. Right join, right outer join, outer, putting the outer name is the optional. So that will be your outcome of the right, right join. Okay. And then what could be the fourth possibilities? Anybody can guess? What could be the fourth possibility?
All records.
All record from both the table, right? Because we got the left, we got the right, we got the inner. So the last possibility is the full outer join or full join, full outer join, right? And these are called the inner join. Means all matching. When I say the matching means the your common field value is matching. So all matching, all non-matching will come in your outcome. That will be your full outer join. So all the matching from the left or non-matching. So these four record will come for sure. So sorry, let me get this one. These four will come for sure, right? Because this is from the left, right? One record is matching. And what additionally will come on the full outer join because MCA is already there. So one more course is left, that's the MBA. So this record will also come in your outcome in a case of the full outer join. So it will come over here and here because nobody has enrolled in this course, then it will be null and age will be null. That's all about join, right? Okay. So here number of record will be 5 because 4 you have in a student table, one additional course you have. Whatever is common that will be always there. So one thing you will notice like no matter what join you are going to use, whatever is common, that's always coming in your result. Okay. So this is the join common things. Make sense? So remember this concept, right? Remember these two tables. And then apply the same logic, whatever the table you are going to use in your join condition, right? And what will be happen if I'm using third table, like there is an admission table. Same concept, nothing will change, right? When you are joining the third table, you will find a common field between these two, right? So now you are joining the third table. So could be possible it has the course code and then enrollment date, and whatever is the other field, right? So course code is common. So based on the course code, you can do the join. But ideally, course code itself is not sufficient. So normally in an admission table, you see the student ID also. The rest column you can add it, right? So these two column will become your common field and join field that you need to follow. And then you can join the admission depending on your use case. You will use the inner join, left join, right join, or full outer join. And your result set will come in your results. So you can keep going on that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the tables you need to join. Now we'll create this table, we'll follow the syntax, and we'll see the result. Okay. Tosika just joined, so I'll repeat just real quickly. So that's why I said like whether you are using the Power BI, whether you are using the Tableau or you are using the Python, whenever you have a two data set to set up the table, and when I say the table means like the row and columns, right? Then you need to perform join operation, right? In a Power BI Tableau, you'll do the graphically, but the operation, the steps, the process will going to remain same. What you need to look for as soon as you see the two data set, which columns have the common value so that you can perform the join. If there is no any common value in both the data set, you will never ever be able to do the join, right? That's the first condition. So in this example, we have a course code that's common. Here is a course code that's common. The name of column is a different, but doesn't matter. The value is the same. So when you are performing the join, you have a four possibilities. The first is the left join. On that case, the priority will be the left table. So in that case, your left column matching will come and all the records from the left will come, right? And the one or the other part, as I said, like you only do the join when you need columns from both the table or both the data set. If the column is only from coming from one data set, you do not need to use the join. In case of the inner join, only the record that is matching will come. Like in this example, Raj has enrolled in MCA, so only the Raj and MCA will come. That's the inner join. In the right outer join, we are giving the preference to the right table. So whatever the matching columns that will come and non-matching will comes from the right table, that is the MBA. So in case of the right outer join, you'll see the two record, Raj, master in computer application because he has enrolled, and then master in business application because that is also not enrolled by anybody, but it is in the right table. And the full outer join is just reverse of that. Matching record, non-matching from the left and non-matching for the right. So the total number of, it's not like the, see one more thing also, it's not like the 4 plus 2 plus 3 because common is will be the one time, the remaining 3 will come and this will come. So 4 or 5, total number of record is 5. Okay. So that's the overall concept. There are some other variation that's called the self join. So self join is nothing but like there are some structure where the same table you need to join again. Like when we maintain the manager and employee relationship, we'll discuss that thing later. On that case, you need to perform the self join, right? So self join is nothing, it's just the using the same table to perform the join operation. That's called the self join. When you are doing that, again, you will use the either left, inner, right, or outer. So these are the only four keywords you are going to use it. Okay. So real quickly, we'll test this out. So here is my SQL Server database, right? And in this database, there are already so many tables. So I'll create let me create a new database altogether. A student join. Right. So in a designer, we can create a table. So new table. That would be the ID and data type because auto increment. So we can use the integer value. Integer. And once you click the right click, we can set as a primary key. And also we want this record to auto increase. So once you set the identity specification, is identity true, and increase by one number. So that would be your student ID. Then what I have used the name. Okay, let me use just the name. Or I have used the name would be the varchar, right? And I mean, usually you can have, because it's a single name, so I'll use the 250 character. And then I'll use the age. That's integer again. And course code. Course code is again character, and we can use the 10 character or varchar 10. Let's use the varchar. It's always like if you have a very fixed like the male female name, if you want to use it, then char is fine. Otherwise, always use the varchar because that will save some space in the hard disk. So that would be our table, student table, right? Anything is needed? No, right? So we can save this and we can call it the student, right? Now, sorry. Student. Yeah, course code will be the common field, right? So now I'll create a course table, right? New table again, and I'll use the course ID. Again, this I'm using for that purpose. I'll set it as a primary key and I'll go down there and I'll set the identity equal to true. So it will auto increase when you insert the value, right? Then I'll use the code. That will be the again varchar 50, varchar 50. Then I'll use the name. That would be a little higher, right? So I can use might be the 150 character or 250. Let's keep the 250. I mean, when it's come to the data type decision, right? You need to make a decision on the data type because even though as an analyst, you are not going to create more objects, but could be possible you need to create objects, right? I always recommend whatever you can think of, just double the size. Now the storage is very cheap, right? So it's very important like you store a higher size because a lot of the time if the data is too narrow, then that impact a lot of the places you need to change it, right? So it is very important, right? Course ID, course code name, and then what was the other field? Fee, right? So I'll use the fee and then it will be integer and that's all, right? We can use the money also, we can use the decimal also, right? So if you want to use the decimal, then you can have a in a fractional value. So you can use decimal too. This will be the course table, right? Now we can just insert some value. So we can go edit up to 100 rows, right? Is whatever is that, the MCA. And the next time you can see the 25 and null. I don't want to use it. Then John 30, nothing. I don't want to use it. And then whatever. Then 18, I don't want to use it, right? So that's my data. I'll save this out. So close this and you can open this record. So you'll see like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and this value has been added. This look like the same, not exactly same, but this will be your data, right? Now we need to add the data into course table. Again, I'll follow the same edit and I'll use the MCA. And all right, so this will be your, right? And I'll just close this out. And again, I see this value. So this is your data, right? So we have created both the table, right? Now we'll perform the join, right? So you can write over here, you can write your query and what do I want? So very first thing you write select, right? And user from and Let's see, select a star from, right? So this would be your query, right? Very first, I want to use the A's, I want to use name, and I want to use course code, right? This will give me the A's name and course code, but now I want to use the course name and the fee, right? That's why I want to perform the join operation. So I'll simply start with the join, and what is the table name? Is the course. And because see, that's where we use the alias also, because everywhere you need to repeat that. So I generally what I prefer is the whatever the table name, use the first character as your alias name, single character, like the S, and this would be C. Okay, so it will be easy to perform the join, right? And these are pretty standard. Any database, anywhere you can use this concept, right? Join course on S dot. What is the common field? You need to select common field, the course code equal to C dot course, C dot code, right? So as I said, it's not necessary like this, the both column name would be same, right? The column name may be different, but the data within that column need to be same, right? So you need to understand like the where is the common data, right? We know that this is the column that have the code, right? So you see that here the warning is coming, ambiguous column name, because the name field is available in your student table also and course table also. So SQL Server will not able to understand which table you want to show, right? So what we need to do, if this is a student name, so we need to put the s dot student name, right? So now your computer will understand you want a name from a student table, and I want a name from course table also. So what I need to do, c dot name, right? So c dot name is will give me the name of course, and then I want a fee. So again, I'll do the c dot fee, right? One other thing that you can notice that I don't prefer, age has no alias, right? I mean, no table alias, right? So age column could be found into a student table, and age column could be found in the course table also, right? I mean, we can guess like the age would not be in a course, but it's always good practice that despite of there is no ambiguity and problem, you use the alias, because if you use the alias for every single column, then whoever is reading this SQL, they can understand which column is coming from which table. Okay, so now you run that. If you are using just join, means you are inner join, you are using the inner join. So as you notice now, in case of the inner join, you can only see the one record, right? Inner is optional, you can write it or not, is optional, but this is your inner join. So far so good. One more problem you see, like if you're sending this data to somebody, there is a name column, there is a name column. By seeing the data, you know that this is a student name, this is the course name. So what you can do to fix this problem? You can use the column alias, right? You can put that as a student name. Another thing is like there are different patterns. It's very important, like when you are writing your SQL query, be consistent. This known as the camel notation. What does camel notation means? First letter of the every word will be capital and all the word will be together, right? The other pattern you can see is the using the underscore between two words. So course underscore name, right? So these two are very common pattern that you can see in a database. Either use the underscore or use the combine. This is the camel notation and this is the underscore way. So now if you can run, so your output will be the okay, student name and the course name, and this is your data, right? Now we can try left join. So what do we need to do? Just change it inner to the left. And select is same, just we are changing inner to left and you run that. So this will be your output, right? This is what we saw here, right? So in SQL, it's very, very important, right? Whenever you're writing the query, by visualizing or seeing the data, you can predict your query. And by seeing the query, you can predict your data, right? So as you see, this is your left join, right? Where you see the 3 student with the null value and 1 student with the value, right? That's the left join. Okay. Now you can try the right. Just change the right. So now, because you put the right, so the course will take priority and a student will be the second priority. It will not own a priority. So the preference would be all the records from the course table. So you see your result change. Matching record comes as an output, right? It will be always there. And non-matching master in business admin was missing last time, but now it's available, right? We see the inner, and now we can use the full outer join. If you remember this concept, then you will never ever be going to be wrong in your join concept and code. Okay, so this will be your outcome of the full outer join. So you got the matching record, you got the non-matching from student table, and you got the non-matching from your course table. So one additional from there and 4 of this, and this will be your output for the full outer join. That's what you see over here, right? This is your full outer join. Any doubt, any question? So far, so good?
Outer join means it's like combining both the tables is called
Yes,
outer join. Okay.
yes, yeah. So, but again, like if you see the 4 and 2 is not 6, it's a 5, right? The 4 record are in your left table and 2 record in the right table, right? Select a star from a student, and then you can write select a star from course, right? Run all together, right? So see, there is a 4 record, there is a 2 record. So, but whatever is matching that will come, and then whatever is not matching from left, that is the Ekta, John, and Suman will come, and then master in business admin that will come, right? So number of record will be 5. Okay. So that's the concept, right? And one more thing we can see over here is about the view, right? So why we do use the view, right? So now this thing is done, right? Suppose that we have used the full outer join. So if anybody need this thing, like the age, name, course
Madhu,
code, and
I have a question.
yeah,
I'm
Divya, go ahead.
sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, can you please explain this final line? I mean, like full outer join course C on S dot course code equal to C dot code. Can you explain that one once again?
Right.
Mean
So
like you are just joining the course. C means like I know C means it's a. Mm,
C represent to course, right? And S
mhm.
represent to a student. It's a table alias, right? So see, this is your table, a student, right? So
Yes.
if you don't put the C and S, then here you need to write the student.course code equal to course.course code, right? So to save our time, we have done the table alias. So now wherever the student, that is known as the S now, right? And wherever the course, that is called considered as the C, right? Type long. Long, yeah, long name. And as you see over here, if you see this data, this is your student table, right? And this is your course table. What is the common field between these two? This is your student table and this is your course table. So
Code.
which
Course code is the common one.
course code into a student table and code into course table is a common.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
common table that common column need to go on after on.
It is not necessary that the field names are
Same.
equal.
The
I mean,
value should
same.
be
It's
same.
not
Yeah.
necessary. Okay,
The
value is
value
same, but
value
the
is
code.
important, right? What is under
Okay.
that value? So in a good design, you see like the everywhere is a course code, right? But as you see here, it like value is most important, right? The value should be same. Okay.
Okay, got it.
And in a old days, how they write this thing, it doesn't matter. Somewhere you can see like the okay, this one as S. I don't know how they perform the inner join on that, but kind of the When the join was not introduced in a SQL, then they use like a where test dot course code equal to c dot course code. Sorry, c dot code, right? And now you can run. This will be equivalent to inner join, right? So if you see that the SQL that is written 10-year back old or 15-year old, like a lot in an insurance company, you'll see a lot of the when the join was introduced very late in our RDBMS. So prior to that, the people used to write in this way, but this will always give you the inner join. Okay. But once the join is there, then you have a more flexibility, right? What you want to pick. Okay. Like you can use the left. Is it clear?
How we can verify the two columns has the same values if a data set is large?
Yeah, so I think usually that's where come the data dictionary very handy, right? Usually you see the foreign key is defined and defined like the this column course code holds the value that is common in the code. And the more importantly, if you see the ERD diagram, right? If I need to generate the ERD diagram, that will also tell you like the what column is used on that. But somewhere you need to know that or define that. And if you still don't know, then the best way you what you can do, like see here, if you don't have any document, you don't have a ERD, there is no any data dictionary, then how by seeing data itself you can know that, right? So see that. The one guess you can do by the naming, right? If the name is good, then you can guess. But if the name is also messed up, then the very first thing you can do like the select a star from a student and whatever the potential table that you're looking to join, select a star from course in this case, right? Just run those with some data sample. Once you see the data, see like ID to ID is there, right? So you can join to ID, but ID auto increment number is there, so they are not relevant, right? Because one will join with the one and two will join with the two. So it doesn't make a more sense, right? So instead of there should be a course ID, then it will be more meaningful, but not in this context. Then you see the name is also different. Age is also different. So you need to be intuitive. You need to guess like, okay, oh, here is that MCA. So this is common because in this entire data set, only the two thing is common. One is ID, and code. So code is making more sense, right? So that's why we choose the code.
Yeah, but this is the small data set, so we can verify that each record with uh, other others
Mhm.
table column. But if it is a very large data set, so we can so how we perform verification or
Yeah,
matching things in that case?
Yeah, so on that also the process is going to be same, right? The as I said, like the good thing is that if you have what we call the data dictionary, that will tell you which one is the foreign key. The course code is considered as the foreign key over here, right? So student ID is the primary key. These are the columns, and the course code into a student table is the foreign key, right? So the foreign key always used for the join, but as you see, like it's a flat structure, millions of record is there and thousands of column is there and you need to join. Generally on that case there would be the composite key, means like one code will not be enough to complete the join, then you need to add and you need to like the like just I mean this is not true, but you need to write there something like that, right? So you can keep adding the additional column that need to perform the join. Usually whatever is the foreign key, that is the primary key in the other table, right? It is very, very important. Then it's the many to one relationship. If that is not unique, then that will go to the many to many, and that will create the Cartesian product and give you the wrong data. So going back to your original query, suppose that I don't know anything and I'm looking for the order table. I see that. So the only you need to examine the columns, right? If there is a thousands column, you need to examine columns. There is no other shortcut. That will be take 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours of time. So suppose that somebody say like, okay, at least invoice and orders look like. Let's see what are the common things on that, right? To say invoice ID is there, customer ID is there, order ID is there. You can see, oh, customer ID is there, right? Let's look the customer ID. Let's look the customer ID, right? So let's try the customer ID, right? So invoice and this thing you can perform based on the customer ID, right? So you will start join. What is the other table? Oh, customer ID. So I mean, definitely the customer ID will be the customer, but order need to order ID, right? So let's see. Let me do one thing on that. Top 100 start, right? From this table. Top 100 start from order. And you see the order line also. So order and order line look like the same, right? So at least use the order line also in your list, right? When you start like all the common objects that look like the same, you start with that and
Three table, right?
so depending on that, what you want to show that, but at least we are trying to examine that what is there on that, right? So you see like this is the invoice, this is order, and this is order line. So order line has the order ID, right? And order has the order ID, right? So it's very intuitive, like the order ID in order table is the primary key, but order ID into your order line table is a foreign key, right? So always the order is higher, line is the lower, right? So that's why the order ID is used as a foreign key. So based on by seeing the data, you can perform the join, right? The other field you can examine what else is there. So this table has the other foreign key, the stock item ID, right? Usually the IDs code are the key, right? You don't see the name to name join. So that's also some pattern you can see, like the whoever is designing the data, either it would be code or it would be ID. So in this see like the stock ID is there that can join. So what would be your order table will join with the order line based on the order ID. And if you need a customer name, then customer name is available into order table only. So order line will never ever be able to join the customer, right? So definitely any order is not making sense without customer, right? So that's where we start. So you need to use the three table to get the customer information to get the order information. Okay, does this make sense? Rovina,
Yes.
this help?
So that means we have to put that we will use two joins there, right? Means
Yeah.
using three tables.
Exactly. So you can start in any order. Generally, we start with the big table in the center, right, at the first. So like the order line, but I mean, depending on that, it doesn't matter, right? In this case, we'll use the inner join, right? Because we only want to see the order where, I mean, if somebody is asking like, hey, can you give me that there is a wide order, right? Or there is order, there is no customer or customer that is not making any order. So based on those scenario, you can change the condition, but just keep it simple. Like we want to, okay, customer, we want order and we want order line, right? Other thing you can see like the what the functional field that is going to add. Definitely order line have the quantity and price, right? But order line table don't have the customer ID. So you will not be able to go to the customer just by order line. So you need to go to the order table for sure because order table has the customer ID, right? Does make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
So definitely if he is coming like, okay, product description, quantity and unit price. Suppose that these three things we want from the order line. And then we want a customer name or city from customer table. So let's bring the customer table also in this equation. So you need to examine and it's perfectly fine. Like when you start working in any company, initial 6 months and 3 months will be more about to get yourself familiarized with the table, columns, structure, join, key. So that's the way you can start exploring the data, right? So select a star. Again, use the select top 100 star from, I mean, if there's a data dictionary and metadata or ERD diagram, then these things will be much easier. You can just try out. But if nothing is there, then by seeing the data only you can conclude, right? Select the top section, start from. What is the customer table? What is the customer table? Sales.customer, right? This is the sales.customer. Okay. So let's bring this table also into equation. So now we got the four table, right? Let's say let's park the invoice because invoice look totally different, right? So we'll come on that, right? So okay. So this is your customer table where we have a customer name and bill to customer, customer category, customer ID, and all those things is coming on this, right? So we are more interested on the customer name only, right? The other thing you can use it, like as you see, like this is a very good design, right? Because wherever you see the ID, customer category ID 3, and you see the customer category table, right? So which category this belongs to? See, like the one is the agent, 2 is the wholesaler, 3 is a novelty shop, right? So this is 3 is customer category ID. So the primary key of the table in other table is the foreign key, right? And that's what you see here. Customer category ID 3 means if you bring the category also, then this particular customer category is the 3 and category 3 is a novelty shop, right? So you can join all these things. Pretty much you'll find the group ID. So there should be a group table. You can guess on that way too. Delivery method ID. So there should be a delivery method also. See here, delivery method, right? Because every foreign key need to have a primary key or table, right? So delivery method ID is there. It means there should be a delivery method. See, delivery method table is there, right? So if the database is a good design, it will be a lot easier to explore the data, right? But if database is not following the good consistent way, there is a postal city, delivery city, and all those things, right? So that way you can explore. The address is there, description is there. So whatever the value you need, you can pick it right on the table. So let's perform this 3-table join and then we'll conclude. OK, so how do you start, right? Customer is there. You saw that the customer has the customer ID. Order line has the order ID and order table has the customer ID. So you can connect that, right? These three to get to the customer and get to the order. Your requirement is the description and the unit price and quantity, customer name from customer table. That's what you need. So these two information, but the third is needed because the foreign key is there, right? So let's just start there. Pick any table, doesn't matter, right? Because we are going to use the inner join. So let's just start with the select a star from, we'll change that customer table, sales customer. Okay, and what we need from this table? So let's bring that. That's what we need. We need a customer name only, right? Customer name. So let's bring this customer name. Perfect. And then because we need to do the join, so use the alias. And as I said, like use the first letter of the table as an alias. So what would be that?
C.
Exactly, C. And then we are going to use the inner join. So you can write inner join or just you can write the join. Doesn't matter. Let's start with the inner join because that will remove the garbage. The customer will join with which table? This is order. This is order line. This is customer. So which one will be the second table? It will be the order line or it will be order. Any guess, guys? Anybody is there?
Top table is order ID, right? Order top one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to use the order because customer ID is needed to join, right? Customer table has the customer ID. So order line cannot be used, right? Because there is no order ID in the customer table. So you are only going to use table that's the orders, right? Because that has the customer ID. Right, so that will also decide what should be the order. So now what will use the alias for this table? Oh. Perfect. And after that, what we'll do? We'll put the on and then C dot. I usually see it doesn't matter. You can start with the O dot or you can start with the C dot. But I be consistent, right? So I prefer to use the first table starting point. So I use the C dot customer ID. All right, equal to के बराबर होगा. What is the common matching field? O dot customer ID, right? Always matching field, right? So these two table has joined, right? In order table, we don't need anything, right? So we'll not put anything in the select statement. We'll start our third join. Does it make sense? What is the third table? Anybody?
Order line.
Order line, right? So we'll use the order lines. Put it here and oh, now it's also start with the O. So what you'll do? So you have two way. Use the OR or use the OL. So better use the OL, order line OL. So it will be easy to connect, right? So the second alias will use the OL. Okay. On. What would be now? O dot.
OL.
Always start with the previous one, right? You can start in either way, right? You can write the OL dot order ID equal to O dot order ID. But as I say, like the be consistent. So use the first table first, like the O dot order ID equal to OL dot order ID. And, right? Now the third join is done. Now from the order line table, what we need? Description, quantity, and unit price. So just bring it here. And as I said, like customer is not a problem, but still the good practice is that use the C dot customer name, then OL dot what? Description. Yeah, Tanya. And then OL dot
Quantity and
quantity, and then last the unit price, comma OL dot unit price. Okay, bingo, you got done, right? And run the query. You got the data, right? So that's where you can keep going, right? You can go the third and fourth, like you see, like the category. Where is the category? In a customer table, right? So if you want to bring the category also, then you need to use the customer category. So what will be the join again? Join. And here is the category table. Sorry, where is gone? Find category. Customer categories, right? And you can use the CC. Again on. Where is the category ID? In a customer table, right? So you can use, see, once your join is done, then the next join, you can use the column from customer, you can use the column from order, you can use from the column from order line, because now these three has been joined, right? So there should not be the problem. So now I can use the C dot customer category ID equal to CC dot customer category ID, right? And what I'll bring here, CC dot category name, right? And now you can run this query. So your category is also here. Come on, it's taking so much time. Oh, so you see that category novelty shop and all things is coming here, right? And if you want to use that the category will be only novelty, then just copy with header and put the where condition where cc.category name equal to novelty shop only. So now because you have performed the join, so you can use those data to filter out whatever you want to do that, right? Or you can perform the count, aggregate, whatever you want to do. So now this will be your data, right? So I executed that and you find the novelty only, right? The one last thing, we are already late. So is it clear now, right? I think after this session, you will never ever be confused with the join. You will never ever just need some practice. Yeah, just need some practice. So many things, right?
Like we put alias name and I'm confused, you know, which tables, which alias.
No, to be simple, step by step, baby step. Once you are new, just follow the baby step. What you know, just trust your guts, right? And go with that step by step. You know, might be join will not work, might be error will come, but just follow the basic principle, right? Basic principle is that find a column common field, perform the join on, put that condition. That's a very basic. Start step by step. See how we came here, right? We didn't came all at once, right? We started with the order, then order line, then we bring customer, then we bring the category, right? So that's how incrementally you will build your query, right? So no panic, no worry. You have enough time, 8 hours a day you need to work, right? So just follow the basic step and you'll be fine. Okay. One last thing on that, like, see,
Madhukar,
yeah, Divya.
can you give me any exercises or something? Because I feel like I'm lost somewhere.
Okay. No, so I think that's what we were discussing with the Tanya also. And see, like the Friday, if possible, we can start early and I'll give you guys opportunity to explore. I'll give you like the, okay, these are like, I'll give you like the, I need this thing. These are the tables, perform the join, right? So anybody, you or Pravina or
Okay.
can share and we can do go from there, and wherever you're stuck, I'll help you out, right? And same for that, and will be helpful. Does it sound good to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Because practice is important, right? So don't hesitate. Wherever you're stuck, I'll help you. And I think the one cheat sheet I shared with you guys, print that out, stick to your desk, right? So whenever you see the query, any scenario will come in between less than, greater than, equal to, that will be helpful. And I'll support the table also so that you can run the query. So one last thing, and we'll come the like when we want to start that. So see, now this join is done. This is a very simple join, but see, I wanted to show you that the view is a logical representation. Like what it did here, we are not changing the structure of the data and the table. It's just we are writing a query to see that, and now we have this information, right? So in this system, you see like there are three views that Microsoft has created. One is customer view, one is the supplier view, one is the vehicle temperature view. If you see this, it will give you the all this data, right? So now it's very easy. Anybody need to, excuse me, anybody need to query. They do not need to all the join, because see, if you see the definition of this view, script create to new query window, it's a complex, right? See how many table they have performed the join. One table, two table, three table, four table, five table, six table, seven table, right? So seven table they have joined and they have come up with this query. So once you have this query, why not create a view so the next person it will be very easy. They do not need to know on the join. They do not need to build the logic. They can simply use this view as a table, right? So that's where the view is nothing but the logical representation that's hold the query, and that query will give you the output. So if you run this query, it will give you this output 663 records, right? And these are the columns. And if you run the view, that's also 663 and the same. The difference is that now logic of the view is inside the view, so you do not need to worry about. You write once and you are done. And now you can perform your report, whatever you want to do on top of this view. Okay.
So, Madhukar, can we take this view directly on our Power BI or Tableau?
Definitely, definitely. That's the thing, right? So
Okay.
that's what we do usually. Like, I mean, we see there's a two option. Like, one is that you use this query directly, or you use the view. The using the query directly has the problem. Like, if you need to add new column and something, you need to change the Power BI report and the model. But if you're using the view, you are giving another layer where the logic will be hidden and the view will be give you the output. That's the reason we create the view, right? To make it simple and easy. And you can directly consume view, you can directly consume table, even you can directly consume your direct query or a stored procedure into Power BI. Okay.
Okay.
So let's to complete that. It's very simple converting that. And there is another concept, the schema binding, that will use for the improving the performance of the view, right? Because here the number of record is very less. But think on the big data concept where the millions of records are there. This view and table can take 2 hours to run, right? So you need to do the partition, schema binding, indexing, all those advanced DBA things come on the picture when you are dealing with the large data set. But at this point, it's not a problem. And that thing is not going to be your job in the 3 years time experience. That generally goes to 10 years experience guys or DBA or the very senior guys to work on the partition, indexing, and performance thing, right? It's good to know. We'll come there, but not at this moment, right? So now this query is done. You can simply convert this query as a view, and it's very easy. Create view as what we can name it. It's a sales schema. So sales dot CUST customer order as. I think so.
Great shoe.
Let's see what's it's been some time. And this thing you don't do it. Sales customer order as this, run it. It's done, right? That's it. It's done. So now you see here a new which one is that, our table? Yeah, it's the same one. So see, a new view has been created. That's called the customer orders. And now you can simply write you don't need to write all these things. Now what you need to do?
This is
Yeah, select a star from customer order.
Name.
Yeah, just name, because now it's a logical and you see the same details, right? And anytime you need to change the definition of that, you can again edit the, you need to drop create or edit that. So, but you can see the logic what we have written over here. Isn't it fantastic, right? So here is the logic. It's very, very simple. So the view is just a logical representation of your data, and it's make your life easy, simplified, because all the query logic is inside the view. And
We
when
can edit it.
yeah,
We can add.
no, I mean you can add the record via view also, but when you are adding a record via view table, you can do the direct add, right? Then if you are adding a view, but see, there is only 4 fields, but all this table has so many fields. So your view insert will fail, right? So that's a different topic. So you guys got that view things, right? It's very, very easy.
I have one last question. Like
Yeah, go ahead.
in previous questions, like we have covered 3 tables: order line, and customer.
Customer
I
category.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can I say like order, and if I want to join with the 2 table with the order and order ID, so can I say order and order ID is same?
No, so sorry, what do you want to do?
Order ID and order line is the same. Can I say that on that? Suppose I want to join those 2 tables.
Only these 2 tables. Yeah, you can join.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Because
that means order line and order ID are same, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
both has same.
yeah. Exactly.
Value.
See, that's what we've done. The order table has the order ID and order line table has the order ID. So if you just want to do the order and order line, not customer and not category, that will be perfectly fine. Then your query would be something like this. Definitely you can do that, right? It's depend on your need, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just you need to find the common things, right? Select a star from, right? And one more thing you can do, like the on customer, move that. We do not need customer. So now this will be your first table, that's order. Second table is the order line based on the order to order ID. And here you can, if whatever the column you want to bring it, or other simply you can write that the OL dot star, that you can do that too. And O dot star means all the column from the order line and all the column for the order table. And this is my join condition, and you run the query. It will be perfectly fine, right? Yeah, that you can do, no problem. So it depends like what you're looking for, right? What data you need for report, what view you are creating, right? So make it easy, right? Like there they have created the supplier view, and somebody has must been given the requirement like, okay, I need these things. So then they have joined this and they created the supplier view, right? So yeah, I mean, perfectly fine. Just you need to look for, I mean, 1, 2, 10, or 100 tables. Might be the 100 tables you are doing the join. Perfectly fine. Just look for the common fields, right? And you'll be fine. Okay. So now I'm stop recording now.